Boom, shaka, laka, boom. You're tuned in to the free-range human show choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards, coming at you live here on the 50,000 megawatt flamethrower we call 103.9 WYAB. Streaming worldwide, the whole dang place, all over from central Mississippi all the way to the coast and everywhere else around the world. This is the Clay Edwards Show. That we do that on the Mazda of Jackson live stream, by the way. You can find it. We streamed the first segment on Facebook. We may go a little longer on Facebook today, the whole show, because we have a special guest. Or what we may do is do the first segment, kill it, and then come back at the top of the second hour. I'm undecided on Facebook right now. But what we normally do, or what we're trying to implement, is the first segment goes on Facebook to push people to other platforms like YouTube and X and Rumble or Twitch or whatever works best for you of those. Or, hey, you know what? You can be old-fashioned and cut the radio on. It's all the same to me as long as you're listening. If you want to download it's not an app. If you want to set WYAB, the closest thing we have to an app, on your phone. Now, you can't go back and listen to stuff on demand or nothing like that, but if you want to be able to tune in live to whomever is talking into this microphone or whatever event we have on here, we probably have more live sports on WYAB than these so-called sports stations here in central Mississippi. And, no, I don't mean that. When I say sports station, I'm not talking about like they're talking stuff. I'm talking about the live sports part of it. So we have tons of sports here, especially football. We're the home of the Atlanta Braves baseball. We're the home of, I think we're still the home of Memphis Grizzlies basketball.
I think so.
I don't watch basketball at all. I go out of my way to avoid watching basketball. But I'm in the minority on that. I get it. I believe we're still the home of the Grizzlies. And we're the home of Tri-County Private School out here in Flora, Madison County, which they do. Man, that thing does gangbusters. You want to talk about a popular program, and if you're from Rankin County or Byram or Jackson, you might not understand just how big of a school, how big the footprint is anyway for Tri-County. I mean, they've got a big alumni base, and these people, they support that school unlike anything I've seen in a long, long time. I mean, comparable to JA and Jackson Prep and MRA and schools like that. Tri-County has they've got their audience for sure. I see the numbers, and it's big. I see the sponsorships for it sell out. Anyway, not to talk about that too much. And then, of course, we're the home of LSU football. Every Saturday during football season, you'll hear I don't know who the voice of LSU is, but we air the home team broadcast of LSU. So if you're an LSU fan and they're playing State or they're playing Ole Miss, and, man, is that not going to be some interesting games this year, especially the Ole Miss game.
Week 3, baby. Week 3.
With Lane Kiffin coming back. So that will air. If you're on the road and you can't watch it, you can tune in to WYAB and hear the LSU version of the broadcast. Or maybe you're a big LSU fan, right? You're sitting at home, and this is something a lot of State and Ole Miss fans do. They'll cut on the TV and hit mute and cut on the home team broadcast. Now, sometimes it runs. You can do this now with digital TVs. You can pause it for a second, let the radio catch up, or actually, the radio is a little ahead of it.
A little ahead. Yeah.
So can you pause that? No, you just end up further behind no matter what, right? Because you can't fast forward it. Well, you know what? Use your imagination. Cut the TV down, cut the radio up, listen to the home team, because those broadcasts are always so much better than the what am I trying to say? The TV broadcast and the ESPN, the national broadcast. Like if you're a fan of either team.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm not a fan of either team, I want to listen to the TV because I want to hear a more neutral broadcast. But as a State fan, I want to hear Mississippi State, or even if I'm watching Ole Miss, I like the Ole Miss guys.
Yeah. Well, I've already got my TV set up in the headquarters of SEC football, ready to go. We're less than 5 weeks away.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I think that we need a distraction with all the stuff going on out there. We truly do, because I was talking to my buddy Jake Wimberly the other day, who hosts a very popular sports show here in Central Mississippi on the ESPN radio in the afternoons, and I sent him just my random thought or rant. I would normally post this on social media, but I truly don't think anybody on my social media cared about it. But I wanted to get it off my chest, and it was the overreaction by the sports media to the Kyle Shanahan wreck and the alleged cover-up by ESPN and Adam Schefter, because they claimed that they knew, but they didn't put it out there as a favor because Schefter had written a book with his dad before and family ties. And I'm like, who cares? The guy had a wreck. There was a police report. There was no DUI cover-up or anything like that. He had a wreck. He almost lost an eye. He's going to miss some time. I don't care. I mean, I hope he's all right. I like Kyle Shanahan. I hate the 49ers, but I like Kyle Shanahan. I like a lot of the players on the team. I just ain't pulling for no San Francisco anything. Plus, I'm a Cowboys fan, and we hate the 49ers. Jerry Rice ain't there no more. Montana ain't there no more. They've had some great players that I like. But anyway, moot point. It's just the overreaction from the sports media online was just funny because they kind of came after each other. And it was just funny. I was venting to Jake about that, and my point was, and maybe he said it, it's like it's a slow news day. It's a slow news time. It's the dog days of summer. They have nothing to talk about. It's like we need football.
I'm ready, man. I'm 100% ready. I want to see what the first game shows us. We're gonna see what some people's made of. I think.
You're a rebel, right?
I am. Hotty toddy.
Who do y'all play?
Oh shoot, I don't even know.
Oh, I think you were over there talking about it like you some kind of big game or something.
No, it's everybody. That first game comes around, you kind of get, a lot of times it's going to be some cupcake team. I get it. I understand. Not in the SEC anymore. You got to play 9 people in the SEC these days, and you can't have but just one more or 2 more games there. And
they got to be division.
They got to be.
At least one of them got to be a division, a big team. Tell me this. What do you think about? And I'm not planning to talk sports this morning. We're gonna pivot. But what do you think about the big games to start the season, like the preseason bowl game kind of things?
The big kickoff. Well, I just thought about
Ole Miss has done a couple of. They've been a part of a couple of those.
That's it. I just thought about who it was. We play Louisville right off the bat. Now I don't know what Louisville's got. Is
that a neutral site game somewhere?
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
What do you think about those?
I think they're good for football.
It's in Nashville. Thank you, Jamie Krill.
Yeah, it's good for football. It kind of gets the attention on it. Some big games coming up front end. I mean, like Texas last year, man, they started out gangbusters going up and playing Ohio State.
I loved it. I think it's great.
Now they got beat, and everybody said, "Oh, there it is." The Big Ten and the SEC. Okay, well, we'll see this year.
I like what they call it week 0. So there's been a lot of talk about how to fix bowl season because with the playoffs, the bowl games mean nothing. I don't even. I used to watch every bowl game. I don't watch except the playoff games anymore.
That's right.
Somebody said, "What if you started the next season with the bowl games at like a week 0 as bowl season?"
That's a weird idea, but I understand what they're saying.
And it doesn't count against your win-loss record for the season. It's almost like a preseason game.
Yeah.
And I like, you know what? I don't care if the record counts or not. I'm either way. I say it counts. I say you play it, it counts. But I like that. That way you have a week 0 with big matchups, and if you're trying to sell the teams on it for it not affecting their potential playoff berth the next season, like it doesn't count. It's a week 0. Your regular schedule starts week 1. I think that would be really good for a college football game. You got 30, 40 some odd matchups. If you qualify for them, you get to play. If you don't, you don't. You give them some extra perks like the extra practice that comes with bowls and all of that.
Only problem is that almighty dollar. Them bowl folks want that money.
But they would still be involved in it.
And I get that, but having it at the first of the year instead of at the end of the year is the big end of the year thing. It would be tough for them, I think, to get it.
See, I disagree because I think it's hell to try to travel during the holidays.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true.
To go to a bowl game on top of Christmas and everything else, I would rather spend – I tend to myself with extra money around August versus December.
Yeah, and these,
and
warm
warm weather.
The thing is, some new ideas need to be brought in.
And warm weather, so you could play in other locations than just Florida and Texas, or basically the Southeast, or the West Coast. So I don't know, just a thought. But cheers to Mississippi State and Ole Miss. I mean, again, Mississippi State's going 0-12, and I'm telling you that as a Bulldog after that gay TikTok video they put out, and then LSU did all they could to gay it up just as much. So,
Ole Miss State and Southern in the state of Mississippi usually do fairly well in their respective leagues. It's going to be a tough road to hoe for the Rebels and the Bulldogs this year, so it's going to be tough.
Yeah, Jackson State, may end up with the best record in the state again this year.
Maybe.
But I say again, I don't know. They won the national championship last year, right? They won their national championship, I believe. So. The Pulling Farm, I've always been a JSU fan. I know that may shock some people out there, but growing up, my dad's store on Lynch Street. Eddie Payton was in the store a good bit, Walter's brother, who was the tennis coach at JSU.
Mm-hmm.
Walter's son was in the store a good bit. They played at Miami. And was it Jared Payton, I believe was his name? So I remember meeting him as a kid. We were the same age. So I got a lot of ties to JSU, made a lot of money as a nightclub owner, rent the club out to JSU folks, and them coming and supporting me. Always pull for JSU, always. And I've been out there tailgating before. People say, "Why don't you come to this?" Well, I've already done it. I don't need to do it again. All right, let's take a break. Didn't plan on talking a little football there, but hey. You know what?
Well,
I love football.
It's getting close, and everybody's getting a little antsy, so gotta get it in there.
Well, I'm ready to first have something to pivot the conversation.
Yeah.
We always gonna talk about whatever is going on in the culture war, but I like to pivot the conversation every now and then, have something else to focus our attentions on, because I'm kind of tapped out on this Nolan Wells thing, but man, it's the story that just keeps on
giving.
It does. It led the news cycle yesterday. Y'all can say you're tired of it, but my digital numbers tell me you're not. When I got 20-minute videos doing 50, 60,000 views on Facebook, y'all are hooked. You're addicted to this story. And I had not one but 2 videos do gangbusters yesterday on Facebook of all places. That kind of stuff usually works better. Those longer videos like that usually work better on YouTube. They did good on X as well. And that's like where content goes to die for me. So we'll see. We're going to talk about it when we come back. They announced it. I kind of teased it the other day. I told y'all that a big announcement was coming. I may have even just kind of blurted it out, not thinking about it, but they have hired Trump's attorney, defamation attorney. That's official. He's going to be in town this weekend, getting everything ready, doing the groundwork. I can't wait. We're going to talk about that when we come back. We'll read you the official press release. And coming up in hour 2, 8 a.m., 8:07, should I say, Mr. Jason Miller of the Jason Miller Band and lead singer of Crossin Dixon. They got a big show here in Central Mississippi out there at Cameron's Garage at Cypress Point Resort tomorrow night with the Stevens brothers. Big reunion show, the second of 4 reunion shows they're doing for the first time in 15 years. Man, we're going to talk about that and more, talk about the peak of the band's fame, why they broke up. I love talking the music business side of the music business. So we'll be chopping it up with Jason here live in studio in hour 2. So y'all stay tuned for that. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit share if you're watching on the Mazda Jackson live stream. If you're listening on the radio, rip the knob off after you turn it up to 11 and set it on 103.9 and then throw it out the window. We'll be right back with Creston Birch here on WYAB. And don't forget, we're powered by the free testosterone screenings out there at Live Better Men's Health and Wellness. Text Clay to get your life back, to do away with the meh. Today, text Clay to 601-633-9017. 601-633-9017. Text Clay or call them and just tell them you heard it on the Clay Edwards Show. Either way, works great for me. Just lets them know where their advertising dollars are working. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. 103.9 WYAB. Welcome back in to the most incendiary show on all of the radio and possibly the internet as well. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We are live here in Central Mississippi this morning, and we're brought to you by the Great Southern Gun and Knife Show, coming to Richland Mississippi at the Richland Parks and Rec Center. Big new building, big new complex they built right back there behind the Walmart in Richland, right off 49. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. You turn on that road right there beside Walmart, and you go right behind Walmart, and you look to your right, not right, right, and boom, there it is. You ain't going to miss it, man. Big old building. A lot of parking, everything. And look, it's going to be a good time Saturday and Sunday. $10 cover charge. Kids 6 to 11, only $2 to get in. I'm assuming kids under 6 get in free, and anybody over 11 got to pay the $10. But hey, that's cheap. That is cheap to go in and see all the great stuff they're going to have going on there this weekend. Again, open Saturday and Sunday. There are going to be hundreds of vendors, guns, knives, ammo, and more. And, of course, you can sell your guns to them as well, trade them in, all that good stuff. Just make sure you bring it in unloaded. They'll have the background checks available on site, so you'll be good to go. And I guess if you got there's a concealed, you have your concealed carry you can buy without having to wait 3 days. Is that it?
I don't think so.
Or is it your enhanced concealed carry?
They're about to get away from those things. You know that, right?
The enhanced?
Mm-hmm. Being this open constitutional carry state, so.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to enhance anything.
I know, and I don't disagree with you at all.
Yeah, I'll just be honest. I don't have a concealed carry one either. I just carry. You know, like my rights my rights are covered under the Second Amendment.
That's right.
So I'm just going to work with that. And if anybody's got a problem with the way I carry my guns, okay, say something, I guess. But I'm not carrying them illegally either. So with that said, get out there this weekend and participate in celebrating your Second Amendment freedoms, because they would love to take it away from you. I had a dream the other night that this country fell to these communists, these socialist communists that are trying to take over, and they did a what is it called? What are the states where they come in and can change the Constitution? Yeah, what's it called?
The ballot initiative. Is that what you're talking about?
No. Where something of the states where they come in, you can ratify, change up, the amendments. The Constitution. You can make changes to the Constitution. Convention of the States.
Oh, okay. I know what you're
Convention of the States. Yes, I dreamed that there was a Convention of the States, and it didn't go the way that we would hoped it would go. And that's what you all got to be real careful with stuff like that. We need to have a Convention of the States. We need to get everybody together. We need to make some changes to the Constitution. Yeah, be careful what you wish for, because the other side would love to do that as well. And they would love to make some changes to that First Amendment, and especially that Second Amendment. So be careful what you wish for with that. Anyway, I dreamed that they came in and took our guns, tried to take our guns, and it was ugly, very ugly. And I was like, man, I'm moving to Mexico. Screw this. Anyway, it was just a dream. It was a fever dream. So get out there this weekend, Richland, the Great Southern Gun and Knife Show. All right, let's talk about it. It's official. The crew down there on the coast, the Horn Island Four, 3 of the Horn Island Four, have retained the services of Donald Trump's attorney, Edward Andrew Polcic, I believe is his name, or Andrew Edward Polcic. He is the defamation attorney that Donald J. Trump successfully used to take down the BBC, Media Matters, and so many more, to the tune of, I believe, hundreds of millions of dollars is what Trump got from CBS, Paramount, and from others. I'm pulling up the release here. Sarah Fields did a good job covering this yesterday. She was also on Jason Whitlock's show Fearless on the Blaze there. I'll watch it on YouTube, not the Blaze.
If you want to watch another good podcast, check him out. And that one yesterday with Sarah Fields was a really good one.
It was. I'm almost there too. She posts a lot, so you got to kind of scroll down a little bit. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me do this real quick for dramatic effect. All right, there's my graphic there. Yes, we do graphics around here too. All right, this is from Sarah. It says, According to attorney J. Tyler Cox, which Tyler Cox actually went to school, got his law degree there at MC, right out there in Clinton, and he's got a firm down there on the coast called Taylor and Cox. He's the Cox and Taylor and Cox. It says, according to J. Tyler Cox, lawyer for 3 Mississippi boys wrongly and relentlessly targeted in connection with the death of Nolan Wells. He has tapped one of the nation's most accomplished defamation attorneys, Edward Andrew Polcic. That is a heck of a last name. He says, this is not just another attorney. Polcic has represented Donald J. Trump in multiple nationally watched defamation and media matters, including litigation against CBS Paramount, the New York Times, and the BBC. He has built a national reputation for handling complex, high-profile litigation involving defamation and media law, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, white-collar criminal defense, constitutional litigation, and other high-stakes matters. Polcic is one of the nation's leading practitioners in defamation and media law. He also teaches white-collar crime at St. Thomas University College of Law and has pioneered the emerging practice area of combating AI-related abuse and defamation. Ooh, you content creators out there that have been making them fake AI videos and enhanced audio, altered audio, all of that stuff. What was the old Freddy Krueger song? 1, 2, he's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, it's a crucifix. Yeah. Be doctoring up some version of that with your AI for Polcic, because he's coming for you. You're going to need a crucifix. Polcic also served as lead trial counsel in the landmark Buck Foston's First Amendment case in New Jersey federal court, which resulted in a $1.535 million jury verdict. Polcic, along with Cox and local counsel, will now be holding accountable those who have relentlessly targeted, slandered, and defamed these young men when they should have just been allowed to grieve their friend's death in peace. Starting today, those who traffic in vicious lies about these completely innocent and decent young men are on notice, and this behavior will no longer be tolerated. When asked about his decision to engage Polcic, Tyler Cox replied, "We ball." As you can imagine, an attorney of Edward Andrew Polcic's caliber does not come cheap. If you believe these fine young men deserve the resources to defend themselves in court, please donate to their legal fund. That's the Give, Send, Go that we've talked about here on the show. In my opinion, it's time for those who fuel the public narrative against these innocent young men to answer for their actions through the legal system. That's what the courts are for. And the families now have one of the country's leading defamation attorneys in their corner. America is standing up, and I said this the other day, and I will say it again. So many of you love to sit back and you like to talk about what I would have done if I was alive back then. Whenever back then was. Was it the civil rights era? Was it the Klan era that led to the civil rights era? Was it 1940s Germany? Whenever it was. You love to say, if I had been alive back then, I'd have been doing da-da-da-da-da. Well, you know what? You're alive right now. We living in some hell of some times. Like my intro says, may the times you live in be interesting. Well, we have accomplished that, end quote. You live in some very interesting, very trying times right now. What are you doing right now? What are you doing? Are you in the fight? Are you hosting a podcast? Are you making videos? Are you calling out the injustices that are happening? Or are you just sitting there on the sidelines not doing anything? Have you donated $5? Have you even hit the share button on the fundraiser? If you can't even hit the share button on the fundraiser, you wouldn't have done a damn thing if you were alive back then. And I don't even care which side you're on. If you're on this side, or you're on the side that's donating and raising money for Ben Crump, if you can't even donate $5 or hit the share button, you wouldn't have done a damn thing but hid back in the day. Whenever, whatever was going on, in whatever part in history you claim you would have done something. It ain't that hard. hit the share button. Make a post on Facebook. Take a stand. Have a damn opinion publicly. Is that too, again, I can't take most of y'all serious on either side of this. To the people who tell me, Clay, I'm glad you say the things that we can't say. We could all say these things if we would quit pretending we can't say them. I don't want to get up here and say any magic words that you can't say. We can all say it. Man, it fires me up. Just thinking about people talking about what I would have done if I was alive back then. No, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have done anything. You'd have been hiding. That's what you would have done. So get out there, man. Donate if you can. If you can't, I get it. Hit the share button. Frank, if you can't donate $5, $10, you don't need to be listening to this radio show. You need to be working somewhere right now. If money is that tight that you can't donate $5, you need to reevaluate some things going on in your life. You really do. And I know everything's more expensive right now, but you probably got a $5 energy drink in your hand complaining about you can't spend $5 to donate. So I'll get off my high horse here and just say congratulations to these guys and thank you to everybody who has donated. This is bigger than these boys. This is so much bigger than these boys. This is a chance to prove a point. And look, I'm telling y'all, if y'all had any clue how much hell this case has cost me, and I mean things that y'all don't know about, you would understand why I'm fighting, why I'm raising so much hell about this. Again, this is so much bigger than Nolan Wells or the Horn Island Four who have been wrongly accused. This is about the fabric of America and saving what's left of this country and showing people online that they cannot just willingly, knowingly defame people without consequences and repercussions as they try to hide behind allegedly and the First Amendment. The First Amendment don't allow you to defame people without consequence.
No, it does not.
So think about that. That's why I'm doing this. Somebody who's been fighting cancel culture for 6-7 years now. Where I would be at if I wasn't having to deal with this kind of crap versus where I'm at now are two worlds apart. If I didn't have to deal with the cancel culture crap and people defaming me and making up outright lies. So yeah, this one's personal for me. It's very personal for me. The chance to take down the queen bee, so to say, in Ben Crump and to prove to everyday jackasses, whether you got 1 follower or 1 million followers, you don't get to get on the internet and just lie on people and put people's lives in danger. Because that's what y'all have done with these boys. You've not only put their lives in danger, you've put their families' lives in danger. You've put people in their blast radius lives in danger. All over a lie, a hoax that y'all so willingly want to believe. Again, I hate what this has done for race relations in this state, but you're a damn lie if you're telling me you can look at somebody of the opposite race after this and not raise an eyebrow. Man, is that what they think about me? Is that what they think about me? And vice versa. You know, I think this has set race relations back 60, 70 years in this country, in this state anyway. And when the results come out, it's just going to make it worse because neither side is going to believe the results if it ain't the results they were hoping for.
That's the biggest thing that I keep looking at is it does not matter what the outcome of this is. The people who believe what they believe, you're not going to change their mind. Now, we've said on this show very much since the beginning that if it comes out that there was some crime that occurred to Nolan and that there is a suspect that we can find probable cause and put that person in jail for the killing of Nolan, we're 100% for it. 100% for that.
Yeah, well, if all the evidence says, hey, this is what happened. And look, I'm not telling y'all that Nolan didn't get killed. I'm telling y'all the boys that y'all are accusing of it didn't do it. And there's a lot of evidence that points other directions. And y'all keep taking this misinformation and you keep taking these little breadcrumbs and running the wrong direction. There's other people. They got the names of the people who saw him alive last. They do. I was listening to Officer Tatum interview the black barber down there that knows a lot of stuff yesterday. See, if y'all aren't listening to all this stuff and you're not spending hours online, you're just seeing little tidbits and whatever got shared the most and thinking, oh, well, that's it. It got shared the most. The most popular thing. You're probably missing what's really going on here. So just saying.
Well, as they say, you're getting led astray.
You are. You're getting led astray. I don't think anybody killed him. I mean, that's my gut instinct is nobody killed him. But what I know is the people y'all are accusing of it did not do it. And y'all just keep going down this path and trying to ruin these people's lives like this, like the bloodlust y'all have for these people. And it's all in the aftermath of this Carmelo Anthony nonsense where y'all just really thought he was going to get away with killing that boy. Like y'all thought, ha, we got one. Eye for an eye, even though nobody took an eye. But that's just like, y'all just think that historically, and I said this yesterday, I'm convinced black people don't want equality. You want revenge for something that didn't happen to you. Let's take a break. We'll be right back here on the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB with Creston Birch here live in the studio with me this morning. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here on 103.9 WYAB. Streaming worldwide on the Mazda of Jackson live stream over at SaveJXN on Facebook and no, we're not at SaveJXN on Facebook. At SaveJXN on YouTube and X and at Clay Edwards Show on Facebook, Twitch, and Rumble. We're still streaming on Facebook for now. We hadn't unplugged it yet. But again, y'all don't get too comfortable over there. Make sure if you're watching on Facebook to go subscribe or enroll, enhance, whatever you want to call it, follow on one of the other platforms. This segment brought to you by our good friends over at, how about my friends right there at 042 Wine and Spirits in Rankin County, right there in Brandon, right next to Sonny's Barbecue. Easy to find, easy to get in and out of right there on Highway 80. Man, over 400 different wines in stock to choose from. That is a lot of selection. 400 different wines. And that's true. I mean, you go in there, you can count them right at 400. I ain't saying on the T, give or take a few, but right at 400. Over 200 different bourbons and whiskeys to choose from. That's even a crazier number. But there's a lot of options out there nowadays. And the fact that they've gone through and hand-selected roughly 200 to sell you guys says a lot about what their team does over there. Also, you got about up to 50 different gins, vodkas, tequilas, all of that great stuff. Something they're getting into big time with these ready-to-drink cocktails. Man, just pretty much like a can of beer. All you got to do is throw it on ice or throw it in the fridge, let it get cold, pop the top, drink it. Just that simple. Pre-mixed, margaritas, gin and juice, all these Jack Daniels flavors, all these different things they have. I don't drink those things personally, but I know a lot of people do. It's like, man, why don't I go through the trouble of mixing it myself when I can just buy one already made? I'm like, I agree. That's a great concept. They got all that. They got your favorite setups, all your favorite Bloody Mary mixes, margarita mixes, all that good stuff right there. Swing by, check them out today. They're locally owned. They're award-winning, and they're Brandon's first liquor store. Those who get in first usually stay the longest. So get out there, check them out today. Support local. They're good folks over there, man. American-owned, locally owned. Goes a long way. All right, Creston Birch. You can follow him over on X at Bourbon Diplomacy. That's with no Y on the end, just Bourbon Diplomacy, the letter C. There's no really point in having a Y on the end of it, to be honest with you. It spells out itself. You can follow me over there on X, Instagram, and TikTok at SaveJXN or at Clay Edwards Show on Instagram and TikTok. Got 2 pages on Instagram and TikTok. I know, man, we talk about a lot of these things repetitively. I apologize. I just, it behooves us to promote them. It does. And we started the email newsletter the other day. You can, if you're watching on the Mazda Jackson live stream, there's a QR code up in the top right corner. You can scan it with your phone if you're watching on TV or on the computer. Or if you're on your phone, just go to clayedwardsshow.kit. That's kit, clayedwardsshow.kit.com. Drop in your email and wait on the confirmation email. It's going to go to your spam box immediately within the first 5 minutes. Go to your spam box, find it, hit hit confirm, and boom. You won't have to mess with it again. The future newsletters and emails will go directly to your general inbox. And that way I can stay in touch with you regardless of what big tech does to me, regardless of what cancel culture does to me. So it's very, very important that we push this email newsletter. Basically, it's just me collecting emails. They just call it a newsletter. I call it email hoarding. So I will be sparing with using it, I promise. All right. So, Creston, we talked about unexpected talk about football. We hit the Donald Trump attorney getting involved in this Nolan Wells stuff. What was the other big thing yesterday with Nolan Wells? Oh, yes, the mother. Nolan's mother and her nursing board investigation. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet. We got 2 minutes left in the segment. Nolan's mother, there was a anonymous tip sent in that started an investigation by the nursing board. And, well, what it was she made some racist comments at that Urban League press conference the other day in Nashville with Ben Crump up there. And she made the comment to the extent of us black mothers have to talk to our kids about moving differently and being aware of our surroundings when we're around white people, basically. And all I can think about is, how would that conversation have gone if a white mother had said those things? We as white mothers have to talk to our kids differently about the way you move around black people. If a white mother said that as a nurse, she would have been fired already, and she would have been stripped of her nursing license. Because how can you sit there? I'm just going to tell you, as a white man, confirmed white man here, proud colonizer, I would be scared to death if Christine Wansley was my nurse and was responsible for putting a drip in my arm and putting some medication in my body. No, I'm raising a red flag. I want somebody different. I don't trust you. How can you? After the way she feels about us, after what she said about us, no way she can be trusted to take care of white people after what she's done. And y'all can be mad at me for saying that. I'm just being dead honest with you, and y'all know damn well you would be saying the same exact thing if the roles were reversed. 100%. Creston, you got any thoughts?
I do. First off, I don't like these anonymous tips. Never been a fan of them. Now, they may just put that out and say it's an anonymous tip, but if you ain't willing to sign your name to it and say that's what I believe, I'm not good with it.
Well, let me say this about that. The tip may have been anonymous, but what she said was very public.
Oh yeah, now that's true, very true.
So it's one thing if you're anonymously reporting a lie, like, oh, I heard her say the N-word in a conversation, but don't put my name on it. See, that's reporting, presuming it's a lie.
Right.
That's reporting a lie anonymously just to stir something up. No, this woman said these things.
Oh yeah, now that was where I was going to go. Now she said these things. I watched it in live time when she said it.
The nursing board should have triggered an investigation without having to be anonymously reported.
If that's the way she feels, that's the way she feels. But I don't know. I'm like you. I don't know if I want her working on me if that's the way she feels.
But I want to be clear too. I'm not talking about black nurses. I'm talking about this woman.
Yeah.
This woman, who's not black, by the way. She's Filipino. So I'm not talking about black people. I'm talking about this woman who does not like white people that think differently than her.
That's what it seems.
It does. That's definitely how it seems. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back here. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we're going to have Jason Miller, lead singer, Jason Miller Band, and Crossin Dixon live here in the studio to chop it up for at least a half hour or so. I'm hoping we can go the whole hour. We'll see how it goes with Jason. Super excited about their big reunion show tomorrow night at Cameron's Garage at Cypress Point Resort. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here on 103.9 WYB. We got a couple minutes left here before our top of the hour break, and then we're going to have Jason Miller sitting in with us talking about the big Crossin Dixon reunion. Well, one of four that they're doing for the first time in 15 years. this weekend or this Friday night over there at Cameron's Garage, Cypress Point Resort out there in Rankin County, God's country. Got to love it out there. Let's see here. We got Creston Birch in the studio. Why don't we got just a minute here, man. Let's hit something. Creston, you got anything you want to get off your chest?
Well, I love parachuters.
Oh, yes. These people who dive into the comments.
Oh, yeah, that are not from the great state of Mississippi and think they know us so well and believe that everybody that walks around down here is a race-hating person, and we just can't get along. And I don't know if they've ever lived here or not, but they don't live here anymore.
Right.
And they want to jump into the conversation and call all kind of people all kind of things. And I always enjoy those kind of people.
I do too. It's entertaining. It's entertaining that the same people who don't like being stereotyped love to stereotype.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you just looked at my comments, you would think that we are all pedophiles or pedo adjacent, according to some of these people. So it's comical. It is. That's why I don't take them serious, and nor do I bend the knee and talk about the things that they want me to talk. Why don't you talk about this? Because I like making y'all mad. That's why I don't talk about it. And because, look, as terrible as that is, and I say this all the time, as disgusting and terrible as that is, man, that doesn't affect my day-to-day life not one bit. But you know what affects my day-to-day life? Something that could happen to me, happen to you today is we could become cannon fodder at a gas station anywhere when the culture sees their ops and starts shooting at one another and never hit their ops, but shoot the innocent people getting their gas.
And that happens here in Jackson, Mississippi on if not a daily, but a weekly.
We'll be right back. Goes La Dynamite. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO. I did it again. I can spell and count at the same time. The Mississippi Miracle working live and in living color here on the Clay Edwards Show this morning. Let's see if I can pat my head, rub my stomach. I can't say it, but I can do it. I can rub my stomach, pat my head, and talk simultaneously this morning. Well, all right, man, we're live. We're powered by the free testosterone screenings. You can tell I've clearly had my shot this week. We're powered by the free testosterone screenings over at Live Better Men's Health and Wellness. Just text Clay to 601-633-9017 or go by livebettermen.com. That's livebettermen.com. And you can schedule an appointment online, or you can drop them an email anyway. I'm not sure if the scheduling option is up and rolling on the website yet. I was told it would be, but I don't schedule my appointments online, so I honestly don't know. But if you can't remember the phone number, you can remember livebettermen.com and reach out to them there. Real quick, before we get to our guest, Mr. Jason Miller, this segment is going to be brought to you by our friends over at H&H Chief Sales out there in Carthage, Mississippi. Noah Sullivan and the team. Look, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. Come out and see Noah Sullivan at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. Thousands of you have already made the trip, the short drive, to see H&H for the state's best deals on CM truck bids, Big Tex trailers, Wells Cargo. Surely that's supposed to say Wells Fargo, but we'll say what the script says here. Wells Cargo enclosed trailers, and even rugged Candy electric utility vehicles. That's those cool, bright colored electric golf carts you see when you go out of town. To like places like Ocean Springs or down to the beach and whatnot, and you see these cool 6-seater golf carts and all that. That's Candy electric utility vehicles. So if you're wanting one of those, you live in one of these communities that allow golf carts, like downtown Brandon now. I saw somebody riding down my street in one yesterday. They got those at H&H without having to travel too far, and you support good locally owned. Here's the great thing, too, about buying, and I'm going off script here for a second. When you buy like one of these electric golf carts from these places, see, if you go to a hardware store, and this ain't no knock on hardware stores and nothing like that, but they don't have service departments for these things. H&H can service them. That's why when y'all buy these cheap electric four-wheelers at places, they can't service them. Like something goes out on them, you just might as well throw it away. You throw it in your pond and let it make a reef or something, because that's all it's going to be good for. Not these. They actually service them, made in America, all that good jazz. So keep that in mind if you're looking for a 2-seater with a utility bed, a 4-seater, a 6-seater, 8-seater, whatever all they got. You can check it all out online there at hhchiefsales.com. And hey, if you need any custom welding, Jason's a country boy. probably works out on the farm site. I saw he drives a big 3/4 ton truck out there. You know, you got a big heavy duty bumper. You need something welded on it. You got a trailer. That you're like, man, this thing ain't working just like I need it to. I need like this rack welded here. I need something welded on my farm equipment. Man, they can do all that. And the great thing is these welders, they farm boys too. They own farms. They work farms. They know how to do what you need done because they work out in the field as well. That goes a long way when you ain't having to try to explain what you need. Somebody knows, like, yep, I've done 10 of those this week. I know exactly what you need. Here's what we have discovered works best through trial and error. And that's what you get through the experience that H&H Chief sells. All right, man, check them out online, hhchiefsales.com, located right there on Highway 35 north in Carthage. Man, I'm excited about this. Been wanting to interview this guy for a long, long time and just never reached out to him. You know, you want to do something, you just never ask. And it's amazing what people will say when you just ask sometimes. But we got Jason Miller here in the studio, the lead singer of the Jason Miller Band, as well as the recently reunited Crossin Dixon. Jason, welcome to the show, brother.
I appreciate you guys having me, man.
So what's going on, man? Let's just jump straight to it. What spurred the reunions, dude?
Well, about 2 years ago, we had kicked the idea around. We've stayed in touch over the years. Everybody's played in different bands since we split up. And me and Michael Bowl, the drummer, were just kicking around some ideas. And I was on the phone with him one day. I said, man, why don't I give Rick's a call and let's just try to get a show on the books and just see where it goes from there. And he said, man, yeah, let's do it. And I called up there and talked to them, and they jumped on it right away. And, you know, of course, we wanted to try to market to a specific, not really a college crowd, because let's face it, back when we were playing Rick's back in the day, you know, everybody that was there back then married and got kids now.
In their 40s at least now, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we were kicking around the idea of even doing a nursery in the back, maybe.
free child care. Yeah. Great for the grandkids.
That's right. So we just we got together and ended up more people started reaching out to us. I even had the House of Blues in Orlando reach out to us, and so we're working on that for a future date. But the response was great when we put the post out, and Rick started selling tickets right away and tables, and then I worked with Kelly and them over at Cameron's and said, hey, let's try it over here, and we've got 2 more coming up in the fall too, and still more people calling wanting to get us on the book. So,
are you working with Buck? Is he doing some of your production stuff?
He is. He did the show at Rick's, and he's doing the one tomorrow night.
Yeah, man, look, I've known Buck for and the whole family. I met Dad here in the last couple of years, but Buck and Dusty, I've known for 25, 30 years almost now. Well, I met him in 99, so 27 years here. I've been working with those guys and doing stuff or being friends with them or whatever, going all the way back to 99 out there at a bar on the reservoir. Chips bar he had out there, Buffalo Chips, when my first bar I ever bought into part of was that one. And I think the first show I met them on was we was either Warrant or Great White or Vanilla Ice. I don't remember which one came first in the 3 that we did out there, but that was the first time I met those guys, and been using them for sound and lights or whatever ever since, man. And just great dude, man.
They do a great job.
They do. When I see their name attached to something, I know it's being done right.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, there just ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Buck is a perfectionist, so that's he was the first one I called whenever we started getting these shows put together. So
I like it. So are we looking at? Well, I know you just said it. It's kind of answered my next question for me without having to be asked it. So we are going to see more stuff in the future.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We're even kicking around the idea of recording some new stuff, getting in the studio and doing some stuff. So
I like it, man. It's exciting because y'all are past the classic country guys, out of Mississippi that blazed the way and kind of created the genre. Really, outside of that, we had not had a country group. I don't think we've ever had a country group. We've had country singers, but I don't think there had been a country group with a name like Crossin Dixon that had ever blown up out of Mississippi.
Yeah.
Unless I'm missing something.
I don't think so, man. I think you're right on that. Nothing comes to mind right now.
Because we had y'all, and we had Three Doors Down on the rock side that came up about the same. When did you guys get signed?
I'm thinking it was probably 2006. 2005, 6, somewhere right in that area.
And their stuff came out in 2000, I think, right there, 99, 2000. So y'all were right a couple of years after that. But, Mississippi was running things there for a minute. We owned rock music with Three Doors Down. We had Crossin Dixon climbing up the charts all over CMT. Yeah. It was a really, really great time for Mississippi in the mainstream there for a while.
That's right.
I mean, I just dug it, man. It was a really cool time to be alive, and
it was exciting, man.
You guys were kind of like shot out of a cannon too. I mean, it went from I remember kind of being a cover band to boom, they got signed to boom, they're on CMT and out on big tours, and it was cool.
It happened really fast because we were Coyote Wild at the time.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And we spelled it Kyotewilde.
Yeah.
And the label, when we started doing negotiations with the label and stuff like that, they were concerned about the spelling. You know, back then I think MySpace was a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, and people trying to search and find the band, and so we kicked around ideas, and we came up with that idea, and they loved it, so it's kind of stuck. So Crossin Dixon was pretty much Coyote Wild.
Well, you know, also the Coyote Wild name kind of reminds me of like some of the later '80s hair band kind of names too. Yeah. You know, and which I love, by the way. Well, that's my jam. Like I'll never forget the Danger Kitty commercials. The Discovery Car commercial with the imaginary 80s hair band, but that's actually a real band. That's Steel Panther that were Danger Kitty. They've played the Viper Room, I think, every Monday night there on the Sunset Strip, but they were Steel Panther, but they were Danger Kitty in that commercial. But you hear those double names like that. Yeah. It's like the first thing I think of, Coyote Wild, that could have been an 80s hair band. I like it. But yeah, I forgot all about that, man. Y'all, so y'all changed the name to Crossin Dixon after getting signed.
Right.
And what was the label y'all were on?
It was Broken Bow.
That's the one, Jason Aldean and them?
We were on there with Aldean, Craig Morgan. God, there were a couple of other there. I can't remember who they were. But yeah, mainly Jason Aldean and Craig Morgan. We did a lot of shows with those guys and traveled with them.
And then, so that was, you did the one album with them?
Right.
And then y'all left and went to another label, right?
Well, it was Broken Bow branched off into Stony Creek Records.
Yeah.
And so they put us over there on Stony Creek just because their artist list was growing, so they had to make some room. And so we were on Stony Creek at the latter part of it, but it started out at Broken Bow Records.
So I was just doing a little research yesterday, just kind of getting caught up on it a little bit, and just typed Crossin Dixon into Facebook, and I ran across an interesting post, and
God.
No, nothing bad. Nothing bad here. It was a fellow who wrote the single they released on the second album. And he was kind of ranting. He was nothing but complimentary to you guys. But he was kind of ranting about the label releasing the single around Thanksgiving. Terry Dennis.
Yep.
I believe is his name here. And he was like, man, they released the dang thing around Thanksgiving, which is like a donut hole in the music business, because he firmly believed that this song should have been an absolute summer banger, Lovin' in the Country.
Yeah.
And I went back and listened to it, and he ain't wrong. But I completely missed this song when it came out. And I was like, I forgot. I remember y'all come out with the second album, but I just, time slips.
Yeah, that one didn't get a lot of play time because he's right. I mean, December, everything pretty much shuts down in the music world in Nashville.
You can't book a show either. Having been a former promoter, you can't book anything pretty much after Thanksgiving till after the first of the year.
That's right.
As far as like booking with the big agencies and stuff like that, they shut it down.
That's right. Yep.
But so did y'all do much touring on the second album? How did all that work?
Man, we when we first started out, they had us on a radio tour, and we were literally on a radio tour for probably about 2 years. And that just pretty much consisted of us flying out or bussing out and doing exactly what I'm doing here with you guys. We'd come in, play a couple of songs just to promote the album and stuff like that, and then maybe hopefully play a show that night at a venue there in the area. But we traveled quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Aldean about it at one point in time earlier in our career, and he said, dude, that's one thing that I couldn't just go out and do a lot of because you guys sit down with the guitars and have the harmonies. He said it would just be me with a guitar, and he said so we tried to more or less play the venues rather than and have radio come out to the venues. But I mean, the radio tour was fun. But dude, I'm telling you, we were in Michigan somewhere, and the program director said, "All right, well, let's go. We're going out to Applebee's and hang out." So we thought we were just going there to eat. Well, we played our show. We stood up in the middle of Applebee's with the guitars and started playing songs. That's what he did for all the artists that came to see him.
Was it fun?
It was fun, but we were getting a lot of weird looks.
Yeah, I bet that was a unique experience.
Yes, it was.
It's like little dollaritas and Crossin Dixon. Come on down.
Like, who are these guys?
Man, I like it. These are the kind of stories I love too, by the way. Having been a former promoter and club owner and stuff, we benefited a lot from being able to do the radio shows, or, guys were coming through and, local radio was still something then. Like, this is the last bastion of local radio here. These talk stations like this, really, pretty much all your music stations, not all, but a lot of your music stations have been bought up by these conglomerates and Ticketmaster, Live Nation. They might not own them, but they own them. iHeart and Live Nation were all one big company at one point. It was SFX, I guess, originally. Anyway, they would pick who they were going to play, so whoever they were getting paid by the labels, allegedly, to push, and then they would decide who was going to be booked at the venues they own by the promoter, which is them that they promote, and the tickets that they sell.
That's right.
And you want to talk about a hard industry to penetrate. I mean, you know this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if you weren't hand-selected by the big labels, you didn't get to do it. And that is the one great thing that the internet did, is it democratized music and live music especially.
That's right.
Because it kind of got coming out of the 80s, it got caught up in this whole corporate conglomeration, these 360 deals and all that stuff, which the 360 deals, if you're Jay-Z or Beyonce or one of these big people, 360 deal is great, right? Because they're giving you a couple $100 million bucks. Y'all can have all the merch sales. I don't care. Right. You're good. But then, but smaller groups, it sucks for, because you're not getting a 360 deal. If you do, you're just kind of working for them.
That's right.
Let's take a break. Come back. We got Jason Miller here in the studio with us. We'll see what else is going on with him. Chop it up a little bit more, man. Just about maybe we can shake him and get some good old club stories out of him. Maybe some good touring stories. We won't get him in trouble, I promise. But I love this kind of stuff here, man. You got the Clay Edwards Show. You got Jason Miller, Crossin Dixon, live tomorrow night out there at Cameron's Garage. The second of 4 confirmed reunion shows for the first time in 15 years?
15.
Now, look, I said this the other day, and I'm the world's worst about saying I'm going to a break and not. I said this the other day. Is this the first show ever in Rankin County? And it sounds crazy, but there wouldn't have been anywhere to play 15 years ago.
Unless it was a festival of some sort. I don't remember, to be honest. I really
That's
don't.
Right. Maybe a festival, maybe like in the Strawberry Festival or the Watermelon, whatever it is in Pelahatchie they do. I was thinking of the Great Smash Festival thing they do.
Yeah.
That or Pearl Day or something like that. I can't.
We get some Pearl Days for sure.
Did you get some Pearl Days?
Yep,
okay, so first bar show or club show in Rankin County then. That way, because there weren't bars and clubs in Rankin County 15 years ago.
That's right.
I was close enough to being right. So, man, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. We'll talk about that and more. Y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here on 103.9 WYAB. Real quick before we get back to our guests, let's pay a quick bill, man. This segment going to be brought to you by our friends over at, how about my good friends at Lakeland Glass and Tint, Jason Anderson and his team. Check them out for all of your window tinting needs, whether it's home, car, or business. They got you covered. What about your vehicle wrap needs? You want to turn your vehicle into a rolling billboard or just put one of those cool matte black or matte finishes on there without having to repaint it? They got you covered there as well. And they do ceramic coatings, PPF film. That's the paint protection film on like the front of your vehicle, your bumpers, your mirrors, all that good stuff. The clear film there help prevent rot pecks and bugs eating at your paint, clear coat, and all that stuff. They do that, ceramic coatings and everything else, man. When it comes to your vehicle and that type stuff, nobody's got you covered better than in the paint protection for it and the window heat protection and everything. Lakeland Glass and Tint's got you covered. And, of course, they got glass in their name. That means they do windshields, windshield repair, and every other piece of glass in your vehicle. If it needs replaced, they got you covered. Lakeland Glass and Tint, right there, 2 locations in Flowood, one on Lakeland Drive and one on Flowood Drive across from the emergency room there. It'll always be River Oaks to me. I guess it's Merit Health now, but you know where I'm talking about when I say the emergency room in Flowood. There's only one, and they're right across the street from it. You can shop online, get a free quote, book an appointment, and everything. LakelandGlassandTint.com. All right, man, we got Jason Miller here in the studio with me, Jason Miller Band, as well as Crossin Dixon, not formerly of Crossin Dixon anymore, of Crossin Dixon again. And they got their big show tomorrow night here in Central Mississippi, second of 4 reunion shows that they've got confirmed so far. If you were listening in the first hour, you heard him say that they got some more coming up. So stay tuned for that. More announcements. I like it, man. So is it all 4 original guys?
It is. It's all 4 original guys, and then we've got our the guy that played bass with us a lot out of Nashville, Ben Helton. So it's It's 5 of us. But, yeah, the 4 original members and then Ben.
So what's the other guy? Steel guitar or something?
No, he does bass. He's just bass.
What are the four original? Guitar, drums, singing.
It's 2 guitars.
2 guitars.
Yeah, 2 guitars, drums, and me on vocals. That's right.
The one guitar player, long hair. What's his name?
Charlie Grant.
Now, cool story about Charlie is, so I was in the car business for a long time and worked at Great Daniels Ford for a while and met a kid named Robbie there, was a guitar player. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how it came about one day, but found out that Robbie is Charlie's son. Yep. And Robbie's a good kid, plays in his plays in several bands himself now.
Good guitar player.
Good guitar player. And, Charlie had, I remember right, Charlie had a medical emergency, not to put anybody's personal business out there, but it was all over Facebook. Like, he kind of had some health issues, so he kind of came back from that and getting to jam again. It's pretty cool.
Charlie's got 9 lives. He's pushing 7 of them right now, I think.
Now that dude looks like a rock star.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, like he's not playing the part; he is the part.
Yeah.
But you look on stage, and some people just got what they call it. Charlie's got it. Yeah. Like he was born to do this. Yeah. Ain't no doubt about it.
He's a great singer, great guitar player. He's a fun guy to be around, man. I got some good stories on Charlie. I don't know if he wants me to tell them all, but I got some good ones.
Oh, you can. So I was watching some of the videos last night, and something I noticed too is like some of the other guys in the band sing a little bit more than what you see in some other bands, where it seems like in some of them you sing back up, where they kind of take the lead. You don't see that a whole lot. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. We swapped it up a lot because all 3, Brandon and Charlie both are great lead singers as well. And when we came together, when Coyote Wild was formed, it was actually 2 bands came together. It was a rock band and a country band. And we just kind of started talking about the idea, and we got together, and I think we were in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, and had just a practice rehearsal, to get together and see how it went. And, man, we all just started harmonizing, and then we started singing stuff like these old songs like All the Gold in California, just, the big harmony songs. Mm-hmm. It just came together. And we said, well, let's try to do something with this. And how the record deal came about, it was a very weird situation. We didn't know this at the time because we played shows all over Mississippi and over in Alabama.
Because cover bands don't get signed.
Well, and see, that's the thing. When we did get signed, they were telling us we were an actual working band. That a lot of these bands are put together and fabricated in Nashville.
Oh, sure.
And we were one of the few, that were actually out there working and playing the circuit.
Well, even as good as Lone Star is, they were put together.
Right. That's right. And so we were playing a show. It was supposed to be Coyote Wild in Huntsville, Alabama. And I think the place was Sammy's Live, if I'm not wrong.
Huntsville? Yeah, it's Sammy's.
Yeah. And so we had played there once already. They had us coming back. And the owner called me up and said, look, Jason Aldean's coming through. And we've got him. We can get him on this night, but it's the night y'all are playing. Would y'all be cool with us letting y'all open? And, of course, it'd be a pay cut.
I was going to say, just changing money for
that's
sure.
Right.
And, of course, you said no, right?
Yeah, right. So we almost didn't do it. And I said, well, let's just give it a shot. I'd heard some Aldean stuff, and I liked it. Well, there was a lady there.
Well, you hear Aldean now, and it's like, well, of course you would do that. But we're talking about 2003, 2004, 2005,
right. So there was a lady there that had connections with Aldean's producer, which is Michael Knox. Mm-hmm. And she was there, and she approached me when the show was over and talked to us. And she said, would you mind if I passed your information along to Knox? And I said, well, no, of course I wouldn't. Go right ahead. And he called me the next day. And he said, hey, I'm going to rent a venue out in Nashville and bring you guys up and let you play a set. And it was Tootsie's there in Nashville.
The Orchid Lounge.
He threw you right in the fire,
didn't he? He did. And so we showed up. He was there with a couple of his buddies, nobody from any labels or anything like that. And I remember we set the tip jar out front. I think we made $11 a piece that night. So anyway, but, big things came from it. So the next time he brought us to town, he had a couple of record execs there. And I think Sony was there, Broken Bow, and I forgot it was somebody. It might have been somebody from Warner. I don't remember. But anyway, it paid off. And next thing I know, we're in a place called Soundcheck in Nashville, which is a big building with a bunch of studios in it for bands to come in and do tour rehearsals and things
I've heard
like
about
that.
it. I think they just expanded. It's like a whole city
dude,
now.
It was a cool setup then. I can only imagine what it's like now. But you'd be walking down the hall, and you never knew who was going to walk out, from one of those doors. And of course, we're nervous.
Sure.
They bring in these labels, and we're up there on stage. And they bring these labels in. It might be 2 people, it might be 6. They're all back there with their arms crossed, just staring at you. All right, well, what can you do? And so we may or may not have had a couple shots before we started. But anyway, we went out there and we got offered. Sony offered, and then Broken Bow. And Michael Knox was there, and he was kind of leading us, and he thought about it, and he thought we should try to go with Broken Bow because they were a newer label. He was worried if we got with Sony or somebody like that, we might get shelled for a little while because they've got so many artists under them. Broken Bow being new, not having that many artists under them at the time, we would get a lot more studio time quicker and get started on the album. So that's how it came about, from almost turning the show down in Huntsville to getting signed.
What was the timeline on that? From the show opening from Aldine to the sound stage for the playing in front of the labels.
I'm going to say that happened in a year and a half.
That's pretty
quick. It happened quick.
That is, I mean, in this world, that's quick
quick
because it's like trying to turn around the Titanic in a swimming pool, get anything done in the record business. Do you think that playing bars, and look, I don't care how good you are, if you play bars, you're playing in front of an empty bar.
Right.
A time or two, because it's out of your control.
That's
a lot of times. Like the bar owners got to do their part to promote as well, especially back then, pre-social media. Or at least I know MySpace was out there, but it wasn't really being used like that just then. Do you think that having that experience playing in front of a quasi-empty bar, helped you play in front of 4, 5, 6 people and put on a good show versus if you had just been 5 or 6 guys thrown together, not having that cohesiveness and stuff at the time? You get up there and you're kind of clumsy. It's like, oh, there's only 5 or 6 people here. Where can you funnel the energy to put on a hell of a show for them? And it sounds like y'all did.
Well, 100%, I think that was an advantage on our part because we had been in front of people. And it's like you said, when we played shows back in the day when somebody said, hey, we can't really pay you much, but we're going to give you beer or we're going to feed you. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was kind of an ongoing joke. They're going to feed us, it gave us, we had experience being in front of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Playing for 50 or playing for 500, and so that helped us to get the energy across that we need to get across because you can't just stand up there and sing. You got to do something. That's right.
It's called putting on a show for a reason.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Well, you've heard so many times about bands. I love music documentaries, and especially like rock ones. And you hear so many times about these great bands that have been together forever and fill up venues and put on great shows. Like Twisted Sister comes to mind. Quiet Riot come to mind. How they were just sold out venue after venue and put on these phenomenal shows, but could not get signed because the labels say, we just don't hear a hit. We just don't hear a hit. You can fill clubs, you can put on a great show, but we don't hear a hit. But at least one of the great things in Nashville is you have songwriters.
That's right.
So maybe they can take a great band that might not have that songwriting ability per se at that time because they're just young or whatever the case may be, and they can give you a hit.
That's right.
And then it's on them. Like, all right, well, these guys got the look. I know people use the term bro country as like a negative, just like they say hair metal as a negative, but it was a whole damn genre for 10 years. And I think you guys kind of were on the front end of that, didn't exactly, maybe it was a timing issue, but didn't exactly get to reap the rewards. And I think that's where like a Florida-Georgia Line kind of stepped in and took the baton and got to run with it.
Yeah.
Where you guys kind of, what happened there with timing issues and stuff. And that's kind of how it goes, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. It was one of those. Michael Knox referred to it after the fact that we'd kind of split up, and we'd kind of got shelved by the label and everything. Of course, there was a lot of things going on. People always ask, "Why'd y'all break up?" There were multiple things. There was no one reason. I'll give you a perfect example. When "Make You Mine" came out, I think it was our second single. It was number 1 in the state of Texas for probably 2 or 3 weeks. Is what we were told. They never sent us out to Texas to play one show. While that song was red hot.
And, and there's artists who never leave Texas and make millions of dollars.
And don't have to leave Texas.
They leave the Texas-Oklahoma circuit there, the red dirt circuit, I guess is kind of what it's referred to. If you can make it big in Texas, you don't have to make it big anywhere else.
That's right. That's true.
And to stick your head in the sand and not get sent out there is just mind-boggling. Yeah, especially because then you were doing these radio shows and stuff everywhere.
That's right. That's exactly right. So there was a lot of, like I said, the label got to a point where they were butting heads about their idea of what they wanted us to do, and then you had management over here butting heads with them. Then you had the booking agency butting heads with. It was just a lot of things that've got to be in line, in sync, to make it work. And Knox referred to us as they just weren't ready for the motley crew of country music.
Yeah.
Basically.
I get it. Let's take I want to pick up there when we come back because I got some thoughts on that. I got some more questions. We got Jason Miller here live in the studio. If y'all want to text the studio, you got any questions, you can text the Ellis Autoplex text line. We got it for a few more minutes here. 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. And real quick, happy birthday to one of our YouTube moderators, Nikki, little Nikki. She is celebrating a birthday today. We don't talk about how old the ladies is, but happy birthday to one of our biggest supporters, Nikki, over there on the YouTube in the live chat on the Mazda Jackson live stream. We appreciate all the hard work you guys do over there as moderators. Shout out to Justin and Eric as well. We'll be right back here on The Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB. Welcome back in to The Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB. This segment brought to you by our friends over at, man, we haven't shouted out our good buddies at, let's see here, A1 Gear and Auto this week. Let's give a shout out to them folks right over there on Highway 49. You need any automotive repair done except diesel engines. They'll work on every other part of that diesel truck, just not diesel engines. Man, you need anything done, they got you covered. But what they specialize in is your ring and pinion. It's in the name, gear and auto. Look, they are the industry leader here in this market and have been for well over a decade, pushing 2 decades now. So go by, see Justin and the team today. Let them get you taken care of. Doesn't matter what it is with your vehicle. Maybe you need a little bump of Freon. Always need a bump of Freon this time of year. You can't have enough. Swing by, get a bump of Freon, get your brakes replaced, new batteries, rotors. Anyway, they got you covered there at A1 Gear and Auto. And what I like about them, and having been, they're my personal mechanic, is it's diagnosed right the first time because the owner that's got the skin in the game is the one doing the diagnosing, Mr. Justin. So if the vehicle's drivable, he's driving it, figuring out what the vibration is, the sound is, the miss is, whatever. And he's 100 for 100 as far as I'm concerned. He diagnosed it right the first time. It's fixed right on time. If he tells you Tuesday at 2, you can be there about 1:45, and they're going to be pulling your vehicle around by 2 if it ain't already parked there waiting on you. And it's fixed right on budget every time, unless they discover something in the teardown process, and that expense will, of course, be approved by you before they do it. And, man, just integrity, and that matters when you're talking about mechanics and anything else in life that you do. Those guys stand by their word, and they quote you a price. That's what you pay for it. And they tell you a time, that matters because time is money. And A1 Gear and Auto, good folks, man. Highway 49 South, Richland, Florence, Mississippi. So if you're heading south, as soon as you get to Richland, right there on your right, if you made it to that new red light there at Gunner Road, you went too far. You can't miss it. Big white building, big red sign. All right, man, we got about 7 minutes left here with Jason Miller. Jason Miller Band, as well as Crossin Dixon, formerly Cody Wild. I forgot all about Cody Wild. They got a big reunion show here in the central Mississippi area tomorrow night at Cameron's Garage, Cypress Point Resort, one of our great partners here on the show. But I'm going to tell you straight up, whether they were a partner on this show or not, we were going to try to have Jason in here to talk about this show, just to chop it up with him, man. We needed to bring the temperature in the room down a little bit, too. We've been going hard and heavy with the politics and culture stuff for the last month, and we hadn't done a good interview like this in a while where we just said, you know what, throw the script out the window. Let's talk about my first love, and that's music. Outside of family and all that, obviously, but music, live music, man. Like concerts is something that have been a part of my life since I was just my very first concert at 10 years old. I think it was 87. 10 years old, Poison, Brittany Fox, Lita Ford at the Coliseum during the fair on the Open Up a Say I tour, and it's why I'm still such a big hair metal fan to this day. I think my second concert was Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood tour. So I was just burnt out the box. Like it was, got to see two of the best live bands you'll ever see, with all an peak 80s chaos and debauchery. And, so live music are a big part of my life. And I love a good live show. And I love getting to talk it up and chop it up about these things. During the break, we were saying, before we kind of went to why the band broke up, and I was saying during the break, there's so much that got to go into that, because if you're shelved, you're not touring, you're not making money, you're not selling records, you're not making money, you're not working out of an advance to make a new album. It's like, where's the money going to come from? Because life, bills, kids, house notes, all that still coming at you. Every day. And I'm guessing that was probably the biggest part to leading to the breakup, was just kind of being kind of stuck in limbo and life coming at you.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there was just a lot of factors that played a role in the split up. I mean, it just got to the point to where we didn't feel confident with what the label was trying to do, and we kind of felt like we lost some momentum there, you know, in some of the song choices and things. Because, you know, nowadays, back then, you didn't have a lot of say-so as far as what you were going to put out first. I mean, we had some songs on the album that never got put out that we thought should have been put out before some of the others. But it was just always just a lot of factors that came into play, and it just got kind of the point it got stale. You know what I mean? And we were just we were around each other 24/7 on the road. And I mean, we even had a joke, and that wasn't really a joke, but it was like, when you get home, don't call me, don't text me unless it's an emergency. You know, so I mean, don't get me wrong. No, we were brothers. I still love those guys, and I'm glad to be back doing some shows with them. But it just got to a point to where, hey, it's time to do something different.
Burn out.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's real, man.
Yeah.
It's 100% real. So you got back, and you said within a couple of weeks, you're starting to put together the Jason Miller Band.
Starting to put together another group, right.
And you said you did some tryouts there, and you said an old name, brought up an old name that means a lot to me, and that was Derek out at Club 43.
Oh, yeah.
Man, rest in peace, Derek.
Yeah.
That was a cool – when you think dive bar, Mississippi dive bars, back road dive bars –
yeah.
What he had at 43 at the time,
yeah.
It was like textbook. Like you would look it up, if you went to Google now and said Mississippi Dive Bar, there should be a picture of that era, 43.
That's right. That was one of my favorite places to play, man. One of my Derek. I miss Derek. He was a good friend of mine. But that place was just, there never was a bad show at that place. It was always so much fun, man.
A lot of energy.
A lot of energy.
I mean, a lot of fights.
A lot of fights. But I'm going to tell you what, they didn't last long in 43.
No. Man, I always thought, like, when I picture 43, and I kind of like picture early 2000s Pops around the corner, too. And it's like, there was never chicken wire at either place. But there could have been.
It should have been.
Should have been. Like, those are the kind of places we're talking about here. But, but that's the kind of place, playing those crowds is what gives you that experience that when you go in there and you're playing in front of those 6 record execs or whatever, and they're the only guy in the room where you can go back to those times and kind of close your eyes a little bit and like, all right, man, we can play Club 43 on a Saturday night. We can play for these 6 guys.
That's right.
So that's a tough crowd.
That's right.
Excuse me for not knowing. Have you done any original music as Jason Miller since Crossin Dixon?
We did. We recorded some stuff. We didn't really put anything out. We were working on an album with Malico Records here.
I remember that.
Yep.
Now
And, we actually got some good stuff down and recorded. But
they started a new imprint over there at the time, right? Or was it actually part on the Malico side?
I think it was still the Malico side,
okay.
As far as I know. So we went into a lot of studio work and got some stuff down, but we never got around to releasing any of it. I mean, just some things kind of came into play there, and we had to go a different direction.
It happens. It happens. So with Crossin Dixon, are you guys? I know you're going to play some originals. You're doing some covers and stuff as well, kind of filling the space, kind of going back to the old days.
That's exactly what we're doing. We literally took one of our old set lists from back in the day when we were playing live shows, and that's exactly what we're playing.
I was just going to ask that very question. Is the set list ready? You got it all nailed down?
The set list is there. And it's like when we had the first rehearsal, we were all kind of, well, what do we want to go over first? Somebody just starts tinkering with a guitar, and we just fall right back in. It's amazing how that stuff kind of comes back to you. I hadn't done some of these songs in 15 years. And it just came back. I don't know. It's just coming out of my mouth. So
that's awesome. Like, right, I hate to be the cliche one here, but it's like riding a bicycle.
That's right. That's exactly right. It really
kind of comes back.
It's funny how the mind works.
It is. So you're going just kind of straight OG, kind of I say classic country, but what y'all were playing before the break. Anything post break? Any new stuff going to be in there at all?
We've
covers or originals?
We've kicked around. Actually, this week we've talked about adding some new stuff from the show at Rick's. Now, it's just according to what time we can get there and get set up and run over some stuff, because we're not going to just go out and play it until we have a chance to run over it.
Are you guys just doing one long set, or are y'all going to do multiple sets? How are y'all doing?
One long set.
One straight up headline set.
Yeah.
I like it. Have you had a chance to see the Stevens brothers?
I have not, but I've heard good things about them.
Man, those guys are great, dude. I discovered them as part of a talent competition that I was a judge in a couple of years ago, multi-week, month-long thing, and They were just the cream of the crop at that thing, and I think they won it back-to-back years, or they were in it 2 years in a row. Just phenomenal, man. Those two guys, their parents are great folks, very supportive. I've been saying since freshman my song, like, that's the next, like, Crossin Dixon. Like, those are the next guys that are going to get signed coming out of Mississippi just as soon as they can get through with school and do all that stuff, and they get a chance to go do it. And they might not need to, man. They might not need to get signed. Nowadays, you can do so much independently and not be handcuffed.
That's right. One of my good friends, Frank Foster, he's doing it. I mean, he's doing well.
Yeah.
You know,
Frank does. You know, I think Cody Jinks is another one who's obviously taken it to a whole nother level on the independent level, and, you know, outlaw, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But you're proven now that you can do it across Canadian Ragweed after being broke up 20 years, come back. They broke up. They were playing clubs. They come back. They're headlining stadiums.
Yeah.
You know, and doing it all independently.
Yep.
You know, like, it's definitely there because you can go out and you can build your fan base independently. You know this. I'm preaching to the choir here. Go out and build your fan base independently, and you don't have to have the record labels. Now, maybe you want to do radio and all that, and then you do, yes. But hell, I mean, as we're on the radio here, who listens to the radio for music? Who listens to the radio for music, man? It's just so easy to have it right here. But one thing I will say about radio that you can't get anywhere else is, or unless you get on these playlists and stuff, these big curated playlists, is you can discover new stuff on the radio.
That's right.
Because you leave it to Clay Edwards to go find new music in 2026, I'm not wasting a lot of time listening to new music unless somebody sends it to me and says, you need to listen to this.
Right.
But, like, if it's just up to me to get on there, like, what is new, I'm not doing it anymore because I don't get paid to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, it was fun to discover stuff when you're trying to fill a club, you know, and try to find stuff that's good and, you know, all that. I used to love doing that, and I still like to think I have an ear for stuff like that. But what I have an ear for and what the crowd has an ear for may not necessarily be the same thing in this day and age.
That's right.
Well, dude, I'm excited. Let's take our last break, come back. We'll have another little short segment here. Just remind y'all who, what, when, where tomorrow night. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We got Jason Miller of the Jason Miller Band and Crossin Dixon here in the studio. We got my co-host, Mr. Creston Birch, and of course, we are powered by those free testosterone screenings out there at Live Better Men and Live Better Wellness, Live Better Men's Health and Wellness. I'll get it right. Y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We land the plane here. We got Jason Miller with Crossin Dixon. Gonna be just one last time, man. Big show tomorrow night. Cameron's Garage there at Cypress Point Resort, and I just found out. I was curious because I know the size of the place. I'm like, man, there's going to be a lot of people that want to see this dang thing. This is a parking lot party. They're bringing in the big stage and setting it up in the parking lot. They've done this 2 or 3 times in the past, and they got it down pat. They bring in the extra bathrooms and all that stuff, too. There's going to be a little mini festival out there Friday night at Cameron's Garage. Again, the Stevens brothers, you hadn't seen them, phenomenal band. Crossin Dixon back together. This is exciting. And you said had a message from the other guys said, this ain't over. They ain't done, huh? They're still writing some songs?
Still writing songs, man. Still writing songs.
I love it, man. You brought up during the break, we ain't got 40 seconds left here, but you said one of the guys said, and I won't go into the whole thing, but long story short, that maybe it just wasn't meant to be back in the day.
That's right.
But, you know, you get time, you get some distance, and the industry changes, and you grow up, and you can write songs now you couldn't write then.
That's right.
You know, because life and experiences getting, you know, maybe now's the time.
That's
you
right.
know, again, you don't need the labels. You can do it independently.
Too many people are doing it by themselves with all the internet and everything else. People get on there and record themselves singing, and next thing you know, they've got 1 million views or followers.
Hey, look, Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, again, from TikTok or X to stadiums in a couple of years, it's phenomenal. Jason Miller, thank you, brother.
Hey, thank y'all for having me, dude. It's been an honor.
Everybody. We'll see y'all tomorrow night with them. I will be there. I ain't missing this one for anything. Creston, thank you. Y'all stay tuned for Mike Madison coming up next, and I'll be back here tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
See ya.
Peace.